WindyCityThetanWatch. Here a little bit early today. I'm going to head over to Dearborn and walk down Dearborn to Polk. Just see if we can catch anybody out and about early. Let some of the people flow in to the chat. I'm going to back off just a bit. So it is Friday. Friday is typically graduation day at the org, and graduation day is it's a chance to show anybody any wins that you had this week, or if you've done course completions, the certificates get handed out today. It's more, it's typically the publics are taking these courses. I know that some of the staff do. The staff just can't, their time doesn't allow them to continue progressing at the same speed as some of the publics can in this space. So it is hotter than the dickens out here today. We're probably 92, 95 degrees out. We should start seeing some cooling. It's coming up on the 5 o'clock hour. Hello, Donette. Yes, happy Friday. Yesterday, we saw the first episode of Selfless Self and MD Media. No, Eric the Raider. Darn it. Eric Rader's channel is BC Incinerator, I think. Howdy D, great to see you. Eric Rader, MD Media, Cubs, really love these people because they're out there almost daily in front of these locations. And somebody else just popped up in Boston, at least popped up to me. In Boston, female, this past couple of days. That was awesome. It's just really a pleasure to get, I'm going to say validation, but that's not fair. I love that the people that are ex-Scientologists and second gens are seeing the channels and appreciative of the work that we're doing to help lend voice to their pains. So we're down to Harrison. Now remember, I'm 1 block east of Clark Street. Good to see you here, Adrian. It is going to be a melty day out here today. Going to head down through Dearborn. Kind of got my eyes scanning to see if I can find uniforms anywhere. Then we'll head over to the org, make sure we bring the shades down, close them up at 5 o'clock before more public start showing up. Who do we have in here? We've got Howdy Rhonda. No one, good to see you. Oops. Nance, great seeing you. Thanks as always for helping out. On the other channel, I didn't broadcast it yet, but I did drone footage of the 606. So we've walked the 606, and we've done live of the 606, but did some drone footage of that to help with the a production quality video that we'll put out on 606. That's Windy Wanders. Now I'm YouTube native tonight, so I can't really tap messages. I'll try to keep track of them. If there is something that I've missed because I'm engaged with somebody on the street, the mods will remind me to bring it back up, or I'll scroll down through and see if we can find the conversation. I had a win today. It's been a while. I haven't been running much lately. Just kind of tired. The protesting has taken a segment of my life So, just harder to do that. But this morning I decided, I need to start making time for that again. So hopefully I can get back on the running bandwagon. We're walking down Dearborn Street, coming up on Dearborn Station, right? The big tower ahead of us. Howdy, Sally. Thank you for that. So yeah, Windy Wanders is the other channel. We've seen, 5, 6 neighborhoods. Seen the 606. We've seen the riverfront going north along the business corridor. Now we're turning on to Polk. We'll be up to the org shortly. It's good foot traffic out here tonight. It's Friday, just before quitting time for the business folks. What you'll see in this neighborhood typically is business people returning home as they'll live in this space. So, if they've got a downtown job, they've got anywhere from a 5 to 15-minute walk to get home. The sidewalk restaurants are starting to fill up. It's still warm out here, so I'm guessing that more people are opting to stay indoors in these restaurants. The windows are closed here. But yeah, if I look inside here, you won't be able to see that well because it reflects so much, but they're packed. So there's one empty table and 2 bar stools that were empty.
She's like, we definitely got well. I know, but you said you didn't want to.
Now we're over onto Clark. We'll head up the street, see what we can find up here. I'll go past the org. We'll go ahead and see if we can get the shades pulled, and then I'll check the alley out. Hey, folks in the audience, what wins have you had this week? Did Nancy just retract the win for herself?
Yeah.
Got a table of patrons out at Paisan's. I'll take that, Nance. So, just because you just said that, looking down here, mostly a weed-free garden. We'll look at the Scientology garden next. Boy, the Scientology plants are not doing well. Hey, we get a chance to bring the shades down. So we've got 3 people. Oh, she smiled. I don't know if you can see in there, but the woman in black facing me, she did smile. What do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, about 4 people over here in the cafeteria. Got a staff worker with the Apple Watch on here. Nice of her. Well, if we're being honest, all of our flowers were weeds at one point in time. They were just the weeds that the humans wanted to cultivate. So, Adrian, let's answer that question real quick. I'm going to wait until she gets a chance to close all of the shades here. Oh, she knocked over the plastic plant. She didn't do well pulling that shade down. That thin shade gives them trouble sometimes. Here we've got, looks like that's a new green recruit there. Thin, Asian subcontinent person back there. So let's talk about Paisan's for just a moment. On opening day, I fault nobody for, I'm just putting you up because we've got some college students coming by. On opening day, Scientology paid off every single business to close that day. So I'm not giving any shade to anybody that closed that day. It would have been fruitless to try to buck the trend and stay open for your business, right? You would have paid your staff and nobody was going to be able to come down the street. Now, what Paisans did that day, they allowed Scientology to put a camera on their roof. So if we look at it, the grandstand was right behind me here. The grandstand was right behind me in the street, so it would have been right here as the street was closed down. And this building is very tall. So the Scientology building is 7 floors tall, right? But Paisans is not. And Paisans let them, hey Chris, Paisans let them put a camera up on top of their roof. So it's like, okay, great. Maybe they got a little extra money on the day of. They don't know what's going on with Scientology. No problem, fine. Well, since then, we've seen several situations where Scientologists and publics, rather than coming in the Scientology doors, they'll walk into the Paisans doors, they'll walk straight through to the alley and back, and then come out, leave the alley and back, and then enter Scientology through its alley doors. That's one thing. I personally, I had asked one of the wait staff there a question out here, and very quickly the manager came out and said, please don't bother my staff. So again, unwilling to let anybody talk about Scientology in that space. So these are some of the reasons why we have the belief that Paisans is definitely somebody who's still helping Scientology. Now, that Scientology staff members go into Paisans and eat lunch, well, it's absolutely fine. They're a food establishment. They're supposed to take people who pay money for meals. That's the way the restaurants work. I don't begrudge them for that. You know, the Dunkin' Donuts, we're going to walk up to the alley. Sorry. Let me look at that familiarity question. You know, she had just recently, more often than not, Anastasia is the one there. I have seen the girl that just closed the door or the blinds for us right there. Probably 3 times we've seen that. Now, at the desk was somebody who I would say is a staff member we saw up at the Lakeview org. So she's been there for quite some time. I feel like she's more of a senior staff member or has a higher position in the org. When I had mentioned about opening day and that all the businesses closed, they were paid nicely for that. You know, anywhere from $5,000–6,000 in some situations, up to $20,000 in other situations. And that's, some of these are bars that have, fairly good table turnover and high number of seats. So yeah, they lose more money when they're not able to open. There was also days where we've seen a lot of equipment, like speakers, microphones, AV equipment, that was being offloaded in the front of the building, but it went back through Paisans. It didn't go into Scientology. So now we're at the back alley. There's no activity here. Let's go, we'll take a gander at the trash bins back here. For those of you that haven't been on the channel before, this alley, really there's only 2 ways to get in. You can get in at the street that's ahead of us, or you can walk in where I walked in. The only other way that you can escape this alley is if you have access to one of the buildings on either side. But there is no public way to move from the alley to the street, either east or west of us. We're behind Pat's Pizza right now, and boy, you can smell the pizza ovens. Oh, it smells delicious back here. Yesterday, I had a lot of fun watching Corn Freak and Heligear wander the city. They started here, then they headed up to Wrigley Field. I don't think they found anybody, and then came back to the org. Here is the rear entrance to Scientology. These 3 doors, so the roll-up door never is open. Can zoom this down a little bit if I can. Oh, that's the tightest I got. This door, they'll wedge it open and they'll come out to smoke so that they can escape back in if I ever show up down here. And then this door, because the front desk can see it and they're not supposed to leave doors open, this door is never wedged open. So this door is, they'll come out, but when they want to go back in, they have to knock to gain entry. I can see from here that the chain is on the garbage can. So as we look down here, right, this garbage can has a little label on it that says Church of Scientology, 650 South Clark. This has been here forever, right? The foundation's phone number, sptvfoundation.org. And about 10 days after Trashy went on Aaron's channel, they finally bought a lock, a chain and a lock. Now they didn't do that big of a job, good of a job here, right? I can see in there very easily, but there really isn't anything in there of value. A couple of food items. Dumpster diving has never really been my forte. More often than not, it is shredded if it's in there. They don't shred the boxes. Last week we saw like the books and the courseware. It comes inside of a box because there's a box or there's a book and tapes. So I did see the box that was for the student hat course being thrown out, and it's got the darn it, is it Bridge Foundation? The author services was in there. Head back out front. It was a very warm day today. They may have had the body routers out. When I looked in the org, right, there really wasn't much activity in there. Yeah, Bridge Publications, thank you, Adrian. There was one, looked like to be one green recruit. She had just stepped up from a video machine. She had a brochure in her hand, probably related to whatever video they had her watching. Hello, declared Dave. If the mods can remind me, this video is set to move over to Dave's channel. Dave's got a video tonight. We'll also still try and do a room raid, but for those of you that stay when this video ends, you'll be directed over to Dave's. Got some Cubs fans over here. Looking down the street, not really seeing much down there. And by the way, the reason I have to ask the mods that is because I feel good about myself that I was smart enough to put a redirecting video into it. By the end of the protest, I'll have forgotten it. So don't ever get old, folks. It's tough. Dave, what's tonight's topic? Oh, we've got a Scientologist coming up the street there. Anything positive to share about the church? So this is interesting. Is that the silver back? because we see the gold back more often than not on the vest. And today at the end of Natalie's stream, Aaron and Natalie were speaking about uniforms and the colors of uniforms. You know, that was a powder blue or could have been considered a silver. So did we just see a Sea Org member there? And by the way, I don't know the answer to that. But yeah, Michelle, I remember that this morning, silver, and again, I don't know if it showed up as silver on the screen or not. We'll hang here for a bit, just kind of scan the street. I didn't see anybody over on Dearborn. Thank you, Nancy. The other channel is really just showing you the neighborhoods of Chicago. This past week, we did a 3-mile walk down the murals along Union Pacific's right-of-way down in Pilsen. Howdy, dip me in glitter. Curious where okay, now I see him. I just wanted to see where the Sea Org person was going. They might just be going to get something to eat, although he's got a bottle of water in his hand. I want to remind everybody, typically, I'm not going to follow him too much further. If he doesn't have flyers or doesn't have propaganda, right? Yeah, no real desire to dox these people, to show where they live. Ha. And now we've got a Scientologist coming back to the org. So that last Scientologist continued walking down Harrison. Yeah, so Dave, this morning at the end of Natalie's channel, at the end of Natalie's live, Aaron was in there. By the way, Aaron looked tired this morning, in my opinion. That they talked about the colors, and they said bronze, gold, and silver. And Aaron had said it's really just gold and silver, and that bronze and gold are the same thing. And we just saw a person 2 minutes ago walk down by us, and they had a silver vest on. So having the silver vest on, did we just see a Sea Org person? I have the body cam on today too, so I'll be able to get 4K footage of this after the fact, and we'll be able to post a better picture. Excuse me. We should be able to get a clearer picture. I'm never thrilled with the quality of the image that comes off the live, but I think it's sufficient for doing the lives. It's just not production quality at the end of the day. So these balloons, yeah, I agree. You're right, Dave. We know that there's not supposed to be Sea Org staff here. There might have been an influx of them for whatever reason to help get the org opened. But yep, these balloons were here the Friday before Juneteenth. Correct. I agree. You're right, Michelle. Aaron is not a morning person. And you keep them locked up in a basement, right? What were you expecting? Howdy, Queen Suki. Anything positive to say about the church? So, he is coming back from handing out flyers. He had a stack of flyers. I don't know what the stack of flyers was, though. That would have been brutal to walk around in that dark suit in today's weather. I want to say that I truly appreciate the benefactor who was able to purchase. I have a body camera magnet, so now I can magnetically stick it to my shirt instead of clipping it onto the shirt. And I truly appreciate that. Thank you very much. And you know who you are. I just don't like to unveil those people because I never know if they're comfortable with that. We do have our flyers today. Well, again, not flyers, they're business cards. This side is really showing us what I would say this is 100% dedicated to Tori Magoo, right? If you go to zenu.net, you're going to find all kinds of interesting information about the bad activities and bad actors within Scientology. And then on this side is just a short list of some of the crimes. Additionally, that scan code is going to take to a blog post, and that blog post is going to have articles about Miriam Francis and about Serge Del Mar and the Chase Wave and the fallacies of Dianetics. Let me turn this around real quick. You can see down there that I can now keep my body cam on with the magnetic piece there. It feels very, very snug. It's comfortable down there, so definitely appreciate that. Now with the new guy with the guy that just came in, he had really cool glasses. They were very thin, oval-shaped lenses. I did not recognize him. He did have a backpack there, tall, thin, white male. Just a reminder, he can't get back out the front. You know what, though, since he did see me, so the body router just came here and he can't come out the front. I'm gonna head up to the top of the street to see if he's gonna try and get out the alley real quick. Hey, Carrie Ann, thanks for being in. I'm a big fan of Dave as well. Dave's taken just a great intersection of a lot of great skills that he has. You know, interest in the lunacy of this cult, his history in IT and his history in library sciences, and he's just found an awful lot of material so that he can keep read up on it, help show us some of the goofy Scientology books and stories and courses. He's even got the software, right, that we saw with the personality test. Just want to see, again, we're going to see if the gentleman tries to poke his way out the back door. I do feel very poorly for him, unless he can figure out a way to stay in the shade. He's wearing a dark suit, right? So this gentleman is one of the, I'm going to say he has an Asian look to him, and he wears one of the custodial suits. So, and he was just down at the dumpster. Yeah, I definitely get the impression that that body router wants to come back out. I will say he came back with more flyers than I typically see somebody carrying. Normally, they're only coming out here with an inch, inch and a half, but he easily had 4 inches worth of flyers. Here, I'm just trying to kind of keep an eye on the front door. Right now, I'm just going to keep on shuffling back and forth between the alley and the top of the street here. Again, we're trying to goad the body routers into coming out. I tend to like more when they get a little bit away from the organization. Welcome in, Brain Fog and team. Definitely appreciate the raid. We're here at Chicago. So we took a little bit of a circuitous route to get here. We went down Dearborn Street first. That is a common place where I'll find a body router out there. There were no body routers out. I came over to the org. We were able to get the blinds pulled down pretty quickly. So far, we've seen what I believe to be a Sea Org person. Now, just to clarify, that Sea Org person is probably not based here. They are probably visiting here for some reason. This is a Class 5 org, and Class 5 orgs are not supposed to be staffed by Sea Org. So there could be any number of reasons that he's up here visiting. And we just saw somebody return to the org with a handful of flyers. So they were out body routing and then came back. And just before I came up to the top of the street here, he was walking towards the door opening again. But when he saw me, he turned around. When he turns around, that is usually a tip to me that he's going to try to come out the back door. And that's the reason why we're shuttling back and forth between the alley and Clark Street. So I'm on Harrison. The organization that's cardboard going in the dumpster from Scientology. That is not the body router. That is one of the custodial people. So Vanessa, the front of the front of all the vests are blue. It's the back of the vest that is different. So every uniform that I've seen up here so far, when I see the vest has a gold back to it. Today we saw somebody with a blue, it was a very powder blue or silver back to their vest. He only had a vest, so no suit to tell what color piping he would have had, right? I don't know if that piping and the vest are supposed to be color coordinated or not. And I think, I'm going to guess 10 minutes ago, we would have seen him, and I'm pretty sure I showed a good picture of his back. Yeah, still not seeing anybody. Oh, here's another body router coming back. So she's got a handful of flyers in her hand. She's yelled at me and she's tried to call the police on me before. The person in the maroon might also be. Not sure. No, the person in the maroon is wearing a small cheval. Anything positive to share about your church? Is there anything positive about your cult? The cult of Scientology? Were they human traffic? She's going to head in the back door. because she's ashamed to go in the front door. Sorry, let me pull this down a little bit. So, but this is a good, right? So that one's obviously gold, right? The uniform there is obviously gold. This is another, can somebody drop a timestamp in for the, into the comments right now? And I'll try to fetch her face. Because I don't have a name for her, and if we could just get it out to some of the Chicago area people to say, hey, do you know who this person is? There is somebody back there smoking as well. I'm a little bit hesitant to go down there. I know that if I go down there that he'll go back inside, but if that body router sees that I come down there, he'll come out the front door while I'm stuck in back. A couple of things. I did something intentional there when the woman walked past me, and I said, anything positive about the church? She didn't answer, so I said, there's nothing positive about your cult, and I kind of stressed the word cult. And you'll notice that the person next to her, the person that was wearing the maroon, and by the way, that is the staff uniform of Small Cheval. So Au Cheval is the big restaurant from the Top Chef guy. And then he's got several smaller places called Small Cheval, which all they do is they sell the hamburger, fries, and beer. She had the Small Cheval outfit or uniform on. She cringed when I said cult. So, and then I wanted also to connect cult and Scientology together. So that there's that connection of why am I out here, and oh, I didn't know whether she knows Scientology is a cult or not. Putting those two words together is helpful.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of what I do, there is an intent to try to raise awareness to the neighborhood people. Got the guy down there just enjoying a cigarette. Anybody in the chat planning to head up to Minnesota on July 14th? I do plan on being there. I have made some travel arrangements. Want to be able to help Natalie and everybody else celebrate Tony's life. Thank you, Michael. Now, if we kind of, folks, I'm putting together some assumptions here. I have no intrinsic knowledge of this, but we did see the flyer on June 15th that there was fundraising taking place for the Battle Creek org. The face on the front of that flyer was Joe Sakalas Jr., who is the father of the executive director of this particular church. Nobody back here yet? Again, I'm wandering back and forth here to see if I can get the body router, find the body router coming out, either the front door or the back door. Sorry. But if there is currently a push for Ideal Org fundraising again, now granted, the vast majority of it should be coming from Battle Creek area or their field, but it's possible that either IIS or Sea Org is down here trying to help raise money there as well. That might be another reason to have a Sea Org person in this vicinity. If you haven't been to the channel in a while, that sign for the month of March. No, I'm sorry, for the month of May was a Scientology sign, and it said "Curious" and pointed right to the location at 650 South Clark. I now wish I didn't have so many late meetings today. I think I would have been able to find those body routers out earlier. Not sure if they'll then stay in for the night, if there will be a ceremony for graduations, and that'll keep them inside. But it's always a pleasure to me. Yeah, Battle Creek just surprises me. Now, something that's kind of interesting there is that Battle Creek is General Mills cereal, right? And there were some interesting health clinics that the I just said the name of the cereal that came out of the General Mills philanthropy space. So they would have spas up there, sort of like the colonoscopy clinic and things of that nature. So Battle Creek is used to having crazy people around. I do agree, though, it's not very big, except for the cereal company. Yeah, I feel like that's a one-horse town. Now, that's a big horse, but it's a one-horse town. And by the way, I might have just totally screwed it up. It might be Kellogg that's Battle Creek and not General Mills. Because I think it was Dr. Kellogg who was the crazy nutritionist. Yeah, you know, I need to connect to Bobby Joe because Korn told me that she protests up there. I just haven't been able to do that. Thank you, Dip. You know, I think about, and again, Chicago is a sizable org. It would have taken a lot of, this is expensive real estate. There were at least 3 large pushes for fundraising. The first or earliest fundraising that I could find was in 2005 with Randy Kretschmer and his wife, Cheryl somebody who was the chief marketing officer at Leo Burnett here in Chicago. So he was a high-powered attorney. She was a high-powered executive. And then there was another name that came up recently here, and in 2015, there was another big push for fundraising. And the woman, I think, is from the Asian subcontinent. We oftentimes see her dressed in a sari. So she kind of was the ringleader in that round of fundraising. And then Joe Sakala and the Dream Exchange would have been the most recent round of fundraising. Let's head down to the front of the org real quick. No idea what they're making here at the Subway's got something coming in, probably an oven or a refrigerator. We're heading back down to the front of the org. no real activity here. Let me see if you can see in through this. Not sure if you can see in that blind there, but I think I've got the L. Ron Hubbard, the Bugle Boy. Haha. We do have a staff member coming back. This is our Eastern European blonde woman who she likes to raise her fist at me. Anything positive to share about your church? She typically is going to be a camback. I have her on video so many times approaching me. If you look at all the videos of us, you'll never see me going over there. This is our friend Chad. Hey, Chad. So, looks like the soup du jour is Dianetics. Hey Chad, what'd you do for human rights today? Howdy. We'll see if he's going to try and do the lure me away, because remember, we've got the tall guy inside as well. And I do have, I'm prepared as well. I will say something that I find rather comforting about Chad is he's one of the few Scientology staff members who doesn't wear his clothes too tight. Now remember, the further they get away, the less useful that flyer is. Again, when you pass it out in this neighborhood, you're passing out to somebody who passes through this neighborhood. When they leave this neighborhood, I'm a little less incentivized to continue following, right? We'll see if he's going to try and pass anything off. Or if he's just going to try to lure me out of the zone. So we passed Dearborn. The next street's going to be State Street. If we look ahead of me, so this building right here, it's called University Center. In order to get a residence in that building, you need to be a student at one of the local colleges, whether it's Roosevelt, DePaul, Columbia, East-West University. Like, gain a little bit of ground back. He caught the light ahead of me. So we're at Jones College Prep. Jones College Prep is a magnet high school. Magnet meaning that you don't need to live near the school, you test into the school as long as you're a resident of Chicago. You can try to test in, and you can come here you can attend this school from anywhere in the city if you pass the testing. The rest of Chicago basically goes to the nearest high school, or they may go to a religious school or a private school. That's what we've got here. Yeah, listen, I'm going to say that I don't want to body shame, but I will say that he does not look healthy, and yeah, that much extra weight can definitely cause health problems. He does not present the same as, let's say, Jessica does, right? Jessica is a fairly attractive blonde female. We have heard in the past that one of the green recruits that came down said, wow, yeah, she got me, right? Now, again, I want everybody to realize that this could absolutely be a ploy just to let other people out on the sidewalk near the organization. We'll see how far he keeps walking. This I would still consider to be a valuable handout district. It's still South Loop. You're in the same neighborhood. We've only traveled 3 blocks. This past weekend, I was led almost 2.5 miles away. Yeah. I will say that I got a heck of a lot of steps this past weekend. He hasn't even attempted to pass anything out. You want an actual helpful flyer? So if there are people in front of the org able to hand out flyers right now, yeah, that does, again, it's the reason I ask for more people to come out and help with the protesting, right? The more people we have out here, the more routers that we can keep track of. The only thing I really get to kind of hang my hat on right now is he's going to have a 0 stat for his tour of duty right now. He will get his steps in, but I'm not going to allow him to hand off a flyer without challenging the person that receives it. Something that's a little bit easier today than the other day when we were out here on the weekend. On Father's Day, all of the staff members were in civilian clothing. I know you would, Dave. All of the staff members were here in civilian clothing, which made it very, very challenging to pick them up out of a crowd.
And I was like, oh yeah, help yourself.
So, right, we've got Chad in red. The other 2 body routers are wearing the full regalia suit. Hey, J-Bat. The good news is this still makes good content for the Windy Wanderers, the city. By the way, earlier I had mentioned that they were doing some festival setup ahead of me here in Grant Park. I originally thought this was Lollapalooza, but this is actually going to be NASCAR setup. So these are grandstand seats for NASCAR, which will be in Chicago the July 6th and 7th. I'm going to bring my camera down a little bit so that it's more obvious to see that I'm giving him distance. I had it zoomed in a little bit so you could see that his hand was full of flyers. After we walk past this bus, you'll see the seating that's been erected for the NASCAR event that'll be here in Chicago, July 6th and 7th. If you look further over, there's already road closings here in Chicago. You can see a crane over on Columbus Street, which is the north-south street that runs through the middle of Grant Park. Now we'll have a couple of things to look at here, right? If he goes north of Congress, I will head back to the org. I'll see if I can pick up the other body routers. If he passes something out, he might escort them back. And if he escorts them back, again, I'll just try to challenge the victim. If he just hands them a flyer, it's unlikely they'll come to the org from this far away. But also, if they do, I'll be out in front of the org.
See if I could get myself.
It's funny, I saw the waitress here and I thought, oh, another Scientologist, but she just has the front waistcoat vest for the restaurant. He's kind of speeding up his steps here. Getting that step count in, Chad? Your other body routers, they've just given up and they just hand them straight to me. If you want to hand them straight to me, I'll allow it. Let's talk about OT3. Have you been past the wall of fire? Are you aware that Xenu found all of the bad thetans in the overpopulated galaxy? And he brought all those thetans to Earth in a DC-8. Put all those thetans in a volcano. Blew them up with a hydrogen bomb. Those are the body thetans that you want to make sure that you're getting rid of. Have you gotten rid of your body thetans yet? Are you still mocking your reactive mind? You want a flyer that's actually useful? So it looks like he's run out of steps. Poor Chad can't go any further. L. Ron Hubbard reminds us the best way to control people is to lie to them. So unfortunately, I do consider you a victim. You've been lied to. I do think you believe in what you're saying. It's just that you believe in a fallacy. So, is there a reason you're approaching me? Are you okay with fair gaming? You like the activity of fair gaming?
Yes.
Is it okay that if somebody talks poorly against your religion that they can be stolen to, or they can be stolen from? Oh, that's okay. He's a Scientologist.
Oh.
I hope I didn't give you pneumonia by telling you the OT3 story too soon. Trying to remember how to get back to the org. Are you aware that L. Ron Hubbard said that all organizations should raise their money through services, not through fundraising? So the Ideal Org campaign is actually squirreling. David Miscavige has squirreled L. Ron Hubbard's technology. That's treason in Scientology terms. The current leader of Scientology has caused treason against L. Ron Hubbard's beliefs. So are we supposed to believe source or not supposed to believe source? Hey, Xenu Free, how are you today? Probably gonna have pretty low stats on flyers for the door right now, right? Do you have a motorcycle like David Miscavige? Do you have a private jet? You asked me what I had against human rights before. I have nothing against human rights. What do you have against human rights? You gonna make your whole $47 this week? Our stats up? Do you find it odd that your church won't let you talk about the church? I'm sure they've told you some interesting stories about me, right? I'm a criminal. I'm a bigot against religion. You'll someday find out I'm an ordained minister, so I'm not a bigot against religion. You'll also someday find out that you're actually not in a religion. You're in a money-hungry system. Isn't it odd that in order to be able to work your way through Scientology, you've got to buy the books? If you were really helping humanity, why aren't you giving away that technology? Do you really care about the planet? Tell me about your family, Chad. When's the last time you talked to your family? All right, if you can't talk about the church, how about Dream Exchange? True, Nance. Again, right? They're as much a victim as anybody else. All right, I'll go find your friends, Chad. Have you ever thought what it would be like to be outside the church? Outside to be being outside the control of the church? Howdy, Fuzzy. Thanks for coming in tonight. Think about getting some suntan oil or suntan lotion. You've got a nice burn going up there. Would you like me to pay your freeloader debt? I'll help you out. If I put the camera down, you want to talk? Possible, Nance. I'm definitely not going. When he had me in the alley, I definitely walked as far away from him to get past him. So, my hope is that I'm as good at bull baiting 101 as they are. He's going to probably try to engage the police. I want to see how far, if he'll go past the police or not. Yeah, he's going to try and engage the police. I'm going to walk up there. Want to see if these police will help you? Everybody in my chat's willing to help pay for your freeloader debt. By the way, the freeloader debt's unenforceable. going to give him a little space. Ha! He doesn't know what time it is. Is your shift over? You want to go get lunch sometime? I'll buy you lunch anytime you want. You can tell me what I'm missing not being in the cult of Scientology. We're coming up on 6 o'clock, so I wonder if that was kind of he had to be out until 6. Hey, Dave, would they have made up new stats now? The idea of how long can they keep me away from other body routers? Yeah, I will say that his left foot does double strike. Just a reminder, everybody, I had a win today. I've decided I have 1 day in a row of running. I'm going to get back into my running routines.
That's a good one. Do they want to pull 2 in?
Have you completed grade 0? Communication's the universal solvent. I'm here for a come session anytime you want. Got some one wheels coming through. What's the ARC acronym again? And sorry, I'm talking quiet. Trying to. Love those sun streaks coming through the film right now, or the video right now. Thanks, Dave. Hey, Chad, I'm right here. We're in real time. Can you communicate? Yeah, but I feel like it's showing he's a saint. Right? The angelic Chad Olson. By the way, this is not Chadwick Burke. I don't know if this Chad likes breasts as much as Chadwick Burke likes the breast. I am looking down Dearborn just to see if there's anybody there. Now remember, the other body routers are out in a dark suit, so they'll be a little bit easier to see. Just bringing the goose egg stat back to the big house, huh? We've actually got another Scientologist coming at us in the gray. This is the one that I was passing, handing out the garbage. Anything positive to say about the church? You notice how they kind of get the fist bump as they cross past one another? I'll go down this side. I'm pretty sure he's going back to the org, so I'm not overly concerned that he's over there and I'm over here. So we're back on Clark.
Honestly.
Somebody back here that thinks that horns can somehow move vehicles. Got a helicopter overhead and a fire truck behind me. I got my hand over the mic right now. Chad coming back to the big house with a big 0 stat. The woman ahead of us kind of looked at me very strangely. What's he talking about? She had gone too far. I didn't really want to. I don't like chasing a pedestrian to inform them of something they really haven't given me any indication they want to hear about. So we're going to head to the back of the org real quick. And since he's back in, I just think that he had to be out here for the hour or for the half hour, whatever that was. I'm sure that part of it was to try to be a decoy. I'll still stand on the idea that he got a big fat 0. I wonder, is there an email in Scientology that I can send him just standing there, right? Hey, why is your guy just standing here? You're paying him just to stand here in the middle of the alley? I thought he was supposed to be handing out flyers for you. Yeah, I've got nothing back here. Now, it's possible that they would have pushed into the business district at 6 o'clock. That's less fruitful. I'm going to try and get across the street real quick. Oh. second. Let me slide my... Just had my body cam fall off a bit. There we go. Since he's back in, let's see what we got. Howdy, Papa. Welcome in. Yeah, Michelle, I do. Again, I actually feel really bad for Chadwick. Now, again, he was an absolute DICK. He tried to bully the female protesters. He's a shit of a human in regards to that. But with how poorly he looked by Nance's description, that's... He deserves to be free of the cult, period. And it's a shame that he feels that he has to succumb to their penalties. Folks, I'm gonna kind of take a round robin route around here, see if we can find him anywhere here on Dearborn Street. Actually, I see nobody down there. I'm gonna cross the street into the business district just to see if I can see anybody like near the courthouse or near the blue line. Love the KFC. Thank you, Papa, for using. By the way, one thing that I like about when I use the YouTube native process is I get to see the actual emojis, not the text version emojis. And Papa just unloaded the full suite. I love it, Papa. Hey, folks, I've reached out to MD Media, BC and Rainer. I don't know why. I wish he'd changed his name, but Eric Rader, Cubs champion, and to help them out, we're going to do a couple of panels and just going over, hey, what do you do for protesting? Why do you do it? How do you help? And give one another, see if there's tips that we can give one another. Just kind of chat through that. Sorry, I want to get across here real quick. So now I'm kind of in the central business district here. I just really appreciate the support that that the foot soldier protesters are giving one another, and I want to give them space, right? And I do not mean to say that I'm the guy that can give everybody credibility. I'm the guy that's going to be able to broadcast or pump up your views, but I want to do whatever I can to help them out and intermingle these audiences so that we feel comfortable as we transition from Sacramento to LA to Boston, Kansas City. You've got DC, Philly. So now we're in the city center, right? The train tracks are kind of that emblem of the loop. And I want to look around and see if I can find any of the body routers here. Jackson's a pretty busy thoroughfare. It's the southernmost of the major east-wests. People typically don't walk down the street that I just went under because the train's overhead, and it just becomes noisy. Even if if you've got noise-canceling headphones on, you can hear that train when it's overhead. Let me I'll try to tilt you with me, although I don't want to get you seasick. I've got my head scanning back and forth quite a bit just to make sure that I can pick up any of the suited body routers. To the left of me is the Monadnock building. If you watch the other channel, you'll figure out why the Monadnock building is an important building in the history of architecture. Kind of bring you guys around as I scan here. We're an hour past most people's quitting time at 5 o'clock. So the vast majority of people have escaped the city already, but let's see what we can find down here. Hey, Jen. Wait. It was. So, I think I've got a video of it. It might be called something like the Chicago train stations, but you can see the marble steps at Union Station. That's where the baby stroller came down the stairs. So this is Clark again. This one's not a busy street north-south, right? We've got the prison right here. You've got a federal building right here. Chicago Board of Trade right here. CBOE, sorry. Chicago Board of Options Exchange. Papa, I can't abide by the idea that if you're moving, you won't be able to see me anymore. I hope that you're going someplace in the world where they have internet. Or are you just going straight to Target too? Wait, I'll take Windu. If it's Mace Windu that you're going to confuse me with. Folks, I put a new post up, calling out to anybody who is an under the radar or recently out. We do have some contacts who are recently out in Cincinnati, but if there's any recently outs here in Chicago, I'd love to get more information, if at all possible. And if you want to go public, great. Let me help you with that. If you want to stay private, no problems. We'll just make sure that any information that you want to try and disclose won't lead back to you. This is pretty nice view right here. So you see the three flags up there. You've got the state of Illinois on the right, USA in the middle, or America in the middle, and Chicago on the left. And again, if you want to come out and join me while we're protesting, feel free to email me. WindyCityThetanWatch@gmail.com, contact@WindyCityThetan.com. If you go to the Contact Us page, you don't have to put your name in. You know, there's 1,000 ways to get a free email, anonymous. Maybe I'll do that. I'll create a video on some of the ways that you can create anonymous or new emails with the sole purpose of communicating back and forth with the likes of me or any other protester. Okay, that car annoyed me. He's got the green light. Why was he going so slow? I like this restaurant here. So, see, it's got the windows open here. Yeah, I'll definitely show you some places where we can find some hidden IP addresses. We've got some more one-wheelers up here. I see Metro Security or Building Security. Not sure if it's okay to be on the one-wheelers here. Chicago is a great city to wander around. I have a biased opinion. One of the things that I enjoy most about this channel is that my opinion rates pretty highly. Going up the escalator here at the stock exchange, and on the other side is the metro train station. I wonder what goes through Chad's head, because I know that, right, physically he heard me. He didn't have headphones in, he didn't have earpods in. He could hear everything I said. Is he able to fully discount everything I said? Right? We did an awful lot of conversation there, right? Whether it was clear cognition, OT3. Right, so here you're seeing the LaSalle Street station. These are the trains that will typically go south or south and west. The reason that I use the train to kind of come over, the train platform to come over here, is I can cross the street without having to wait at the light. Folks, just a reminder at the end of this chat or stream, if you stay to the end, you'll be directly redirected over to Declared Dave's channel, where Dave's got, again, I know I asked you earlier what the conversation topic was, but I probably wasn't looking at chat. We'll still try to do a room raid, but also if there's nobody there, you'll be redirected over to Declared Dave. You know, is that when I was a kid, I never saw, my parents never really took us to the movies. The very first movie that I ever saw at a drive-in was Godfather. And I was probably like, 5 years old, something like that. Sure, I didn't understand anything that was going on in that movie. But we were not a family that went to the movies. In the year 2000, the most recent 5 movies that I had seen included Star Wars, Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Now, once streaming services came out, I just became a junkie. I am an info goon. Love consuming information. It's one of the reasons why I really enjoy Dave's channel, right? The amount of information that comes out of that, as a never-in, he is just an incredibly well-educated person on how Scientology works. You know, and we've got our other friends, Patrick Skinner, No One, Michael Andreas. He's a human Wikipedia, and when he can't be a human Wikipedia, he'll actually use Wikipedia. Yeah, we were, well, I'll say Blockbuster-like. I funded a lot of my college by copying VHS movies. And I had, I think, 75 cassettes with 3 movies each. And I would rent them out for $0.25. And the entire library was almost always rented out. There was nothing in the alley. So the British comedy, and you know what? You guys guess. There was a different British comedy show that was out there, and I saw that a heck of a lot more than Monty Python. Now, I loved Monty Python. When the Monty Python movies came out, oh my gosh, bring out your dead. Just hilarious stuff there. But anybody want to guess who the other famous British TV show was? Loved Fawlty Towers. I will tell you that it's probably most famous for its music. Nope. Got a Scientologist coming up to the org. Anything positive to tell us about church? No? Nothing positive? This might be that silver jacket again. Yes, bridge. Bridge for the win. Anything positive to share about the church? Okay, so I don't know if you saw. He was kind of licking his teeth while he was walking down. And then when he turned the corner and went in here, he took the shoulder of his white shirt and he wiped across the front of his teeth. So, do they not have toothbrushes? So this woman's English is a second language. I don't even know if she's got English as a second language. She speaks Spanish. So yeah, and I would say that at the time, a lot of the Benny Hill went over my head. Oop. There was a public in there just now. I'll tell you what, Bridge, tonight, free subscription for you. How are you today? Oh, there was one of the Sakala boys going up the stairs. Faulty Towers was hilarious as well. Benny Hill was just hilarious. Here comes Izzy. I'm just going to go to the other door for her. Anything positive to share about your church? Nothing positive about the church? Are you allowed to talk about the church? Will the cult let you talk about it? Yeah, cults are tough that way, aren't they? So Izzy's talking to the bar back at Paisan's right now. So, yep, send the pretty ones to go engage the customer, the neighbors. Yeah, you know, you're right. Upstairs, blinds are closed too. It's kind of something that I take pleasure in. The idea that they spent hundreds of millions of dollars to buy and then renovate this building, and they can't use it for the retail purpose that it was intended for.
What happened?
I'm just protesting the cult of Scientology. So another Scientologist leaving for the day. Here is the husband of the other woman. How you doing today? I waved. No wave back. I'm an evil person to them. I'm gonna go sit down by the other door because since it's end of shift, there will probably a lot of people coming out. Just a couple of things that in Scientology, if you're going to do something, do it right. Just the big ass streak right there, right? Clean the bird shit once in a while, folks. And the idea that they just can't get these blinds down correctly. Over here, they've already started cutting them, so they're blown out at the seam. Sorry, I just noticed looking down at the ground here, right, that these plants are struggling. They keep watering them, but it's going to be futile. I don't think that they'll survive the summer. So if you go to the website, there's a Chicago staff article. She is both Scientology and Nation of Islam. And that's not a presumption. She is self-confessed. I agree with you that yep. That bird crap is synonymous with Scientology. Just had a lot of people come by, so I didn't want to. I try not to pressure the. So these two, and I can't speak Spanish, but they're both Spanish speakers. Here we're hearing Thomas. I don't know if you saw that, but Thomas talking about some of the greatness of Scientology. Not sure what org that last one was. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that they're very cookie cutter. That when you talk about these testing centers, and I don't know that they would call us a testing center, but it is the same as the testing center there in LA. I'll show you, it's the same things we would have just seen on those videos, and you've seen it if you've looked in the windows at Seattle, if you've looked in the windows at Portland. If you look straight back through these two windows, there is a hollow column or a hallway to walk down there. And then inside of that is a bunch of Scientology media stations. And they've just got different short films running in that space. And then this is basically the same thing that you could walk straight down here except for the reception desk that sits about halfway back in the org. And all of these orgs have the intent of bring people in, sit them down in front of a video machine, let the video machine talk to them. You should not be talking to them. When they are done, see how they want to pay for the book, see how they want to pay for the course, see how they want to pay for whatever it is that Scientology is going to try and sell them. You know, it's interesting that it's cookie cutter for two reasons. Oh, they're going to try and get out with so she just changed into Way to Happiness. So we just saw the blonde Eastern European woman come out with her Way to Happiness. She's got the green Way to Happiness on. I'll give them about a minute to come out here in front, but there's a higher likelihood that they'll try and go out the back. Yeah, the thing that I was going to go back to, is Davey unimaginative? He's actually untrusting of anybody else in the church being able to talk about the church, right? So I don't trust you as a parishioner of this cult to be able to tell people the right story. So let me use a scripted dialogue, film it, and put the film in front of the people. There's a Scientologist crossing the street on Harrison. Will the church let you talk about the church? That's kind of the definition of what a cult is. If you can't talk about it, you're in a cult. Now, one thing is, they can't stay flat-toned anymore. You saw that he had much more of a smile to his face. That actually is out ethic. They are supposed to give me the flattest tone possible. So Way to Happiness has not come out the back yet. But since they did come down from upstairs, and since she did change out her uniform, right? She arrived, an hour ago, she arrived with her dress blues on. And now she's wearing a white t-shirt. The white t-shirt is the Way to Happiness t-shirt. I do see a gold vest out front. Sorry. This is the woman that gave me the flyer the other day. Hello, you were so nice to give me one yesterday. Would you like one?
Nope,
Yeah?
don't need it.
I love that bridge. Like I said, I wish that I knew where you sent knowledge reports. That's a question for Aaron and some of the ex-Scientologists. I don't know if you heard her, but I think you would have heard. I offered her one of my business cards. She said, nope, don't need it. This week, she actually handed me a flyer. So no need to give it to the green recruits anymore and have them hand it to me. She just handed it directly to me. Here's the Scientologist again.
He's definitely going to pull you.
He headed over to 7-Eleven. Hey, Hallie. Looks like you and Korn had a great time yesterday. That was Thetan licking good chicken fingers that he had over at 7-Eleven. Yeah, so still not coming out the back. Ellie, I want to say that it's very frustrating to try and give you guys directions. This bus caught the corner of that sign. Let me see if I can go help the bus out. See, just like Scientology, I can help the community. Except my help actually does help the community. Helly, you guys got to where you needed to go, so everything's fine. It would always be tough because I would give a direction, but because the lag between me seeing where you were at and then you reading the message, you'd have been 2 blocks further and all of a sudden taking a right, and it's like, oh no, not that. But glad you guys finally got to the red line. Got up to Wrigleyville, scouted out the area for any bad actors, then headed back down here. The Scientologist is down here, probably having a cigarette. I assume he's a public just because he's dressed in civilian clothing. Now, on Father's Day, again, we saw an awful lot of the staff members in civilian clothing, but that was likely because it was a holiday. Declared Dave kind of gave us a heads up on that. Folks, I'm probably gonna... It was funny. So he just leaned against that corner so that he could itch his back. Folks, we're going to go to the top of the hour, and then at the top of the hour, Dave's going to go live, I'm pretty sure. And if you're still on this channel, it will redirect you directly to Dave's live for the evening. Yeah, so there was a bus right behind the bus that was having a hard time getting around it, and he tooted to make sure that I saw him, and he gave me the high five or the fist bump. Good job, thanks. So I used to work for UPS, and UPS has a saying: if you see a box in trouble, help it out. It doesn't have to be your box, but just if you ever see a box in trouble, help it out. And in this situation, I saw a bus in trouble. Cost me nothing to help him out. So why not help them out? Oh! Folks, we will not be live when Dave goes live. I don't know if I can go another hour. I was thinking 8 your time. I have silly time conversion. Now, I will say, if we put a link in there, you can go over and click Notify Me. I'm a little bit curious as to where the Way to Happiness pair went off to. I don't think I've given them a chance to get out of the alley. Ridge, I always like to take things in the most positive light possible, and since I don't know what mitzvah was, I'm going to say that was my most awesome thing for the day. Just a reminder to those of you still in, this is the business card that I tried to hand off to the Scientologist. They just had no interest. Here comes another Scientologist down the street. I'm going to see if I can hand this to him. He's newer. Can you share anything positive about the church? No? The church won't let you talk about the church? That's kind of what a cult is. Yes, I did a good deed. Me likey. So he had headphones in. I'm just not really listening to me. Both his hands were full, so I didn't really have an opportunity to see if he wanted to take the flyer. We'll go over to Dearborn just to see if they did slide out. Now, if they did, they'll probably try to make a great deal of distance. I think they understand that I can cover a lot of ground down here. Not as much ground as 7 or 8 other protesters would be down here. I miss you, trashy V12. I miss you, SRA. Helly, Corn. Be awesome if we could have more people down here. Yeah, I'm definitely not seeing anything on Dearborn itself. Yes. Notifications are free tonight. I'll give everybody 50% off to go watch Dave. Now, tomorrow is Saturday, and I do want to kind of come down here towards opening, see if we can do another count of staff in here. But also, I want to be here to see if I can catch the body routers going out early. I feel that they might be leaving from the apartments rather than coming straight to the org first, but I want to kind of get down here as early as possible, which means I have to go do pet duty in the morning, and I have to get my run in. I want to get up to 2 days in a row. And then I'll head down here. Nine o'clock Eastern. Looking towards Grant Park, just looking to see if I can see the 2 body routers. I'm gonna walk across. I'll probably just go straight down to Polk and then walk back to the org. Again, some of the things that I just don't know well enough are that is the DSA watching the channel so that they can route out the body routers when they need to? Is OSA doing it, and is there a delay getting back here? I just don't know enough, right? What I do feel very comfortable and confident about is that there is no way in the world that they would let a body router watch me or any other protester. I know, I'm just a flyover guy. We're heading down State Street right now. I'll cross back over at Polk. This scaffolding has been here for a long time. No idea what they're attempting to fix or why it's taken so long. I need to talk a little bit because we got a loud pedicab over here. So these pedicabs, these guys, they have a special license. They can act sort of like a taxi cab. We've got a Scientologist coming this way. I think this is the tall one that came back with the big stack of flyers. Let's see if we can get a good picture on that. Anything positive to share with your church? No, you can't talk about the cult? Folks, he's new in Chicago, at least for body routing. I have never seen that one before. So again, if there are any ex-Scientologists or under the radars that would like to give me some names, that would be awesome. Folks, the batteries are starting to struggle a little bit, so when we get back to the org, we'll run by, make sure that the blinds are down. And we'll see if we can go find a room raid. Don't forget to set your notification for Declare Dave. Let's be honest. Set the notification for Suppressive Sherry. She carries that channel. Excellent. And Queen Suki, thank you very much. Just going to walk wide here. Although, well, I guess I didn't have to because they have the windows closed, but Half Sour does play their music a little bit loud. Huh. Got a Scientologist walking up the street. Two Scientologists. The one in the light blue is also, but she must not be working tonight. She actually is one of the ones that was doing the shades last weekend. All right, one more pass past the org. And then we'll go visit, was it Hinsey? Hitzel. Let's go visit Hitzel. I'll put the gear away, put my headphones on, and I'll come join you down in Austin.
Everyone have their own little like wing, right?
Got a Scientologist leaving and a Scientologist arriving. Thank you, Quiztology. You as well. Yeah, go grab yourself a coffee mug. Blinds are still down. Nothing to show here. All right, folks, we're going to head over to Hitzel down in Austin. I will meet you over there. Everybody have a great night.